Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, we have got a fantastic band joining us from Brisbane, Australia. They are Awaken. I Am. First saw them in Virginia here in the U.S. A couple weeks ago. We've got drummer Luke McKenzie with us. Luke, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's absolutely our pleasure to have you, man. And as I mentioned, we became actually familiar with your band through the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. And so first things first, tell us a little bit about your recent trip to the U.S.
Yeah, it was really, really good. We were out on tour with CKY and Slaves. It was our second US tour. And it was such a good time. We were over there for a couple of months, and we love it over there. We have so much fun. We really love US fans and find that we connect with them really well. So, yeah, we had the best time. It was hard to come home after such a good tour.
Now, what was your favorite thing about touring the U.S.? I know you've been over here before. It wasn't your first rodeo here, as we say, over in the States. What was your favorite thing about touring the U.S. and touring over and being in the States in general?
I guess, like, coming from Australia, where got a lot less cities, so a tour in Australia goes for about 10 days. But when we're in the US, there's just so many places we can go and so many markets that we can hit, so we can, do 30 shows in a tour, which for us is awesome. It's just such a good feeling to be able to be out there and meet so many people, and obviously cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Which we love. So that's, I guess there's just so much opportunity out there, and it's really good to meet a lot of new faces.
Now, I picked up your most recent release, Blind Love, at the festival, but you guys released a single a little bit earlier in this year. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about that tune?
Yeah, so Blind Love was our last album, and then we actually parted ways with our vocalist that we did Blind Love with and released a single called Dissolution. And that was released earlier this year, I believe. Earlier this year. And it's definitely something that we're all super proud of and super happy with. And, we've just actually, on our last trip in America, we also had some studio time there as well. And we recorded another 4 songs, which we're going to put out with Dissolution fairly soon.
Now, tell us a little bit more about that recording, because I saw a post you guys made, and you had a pretty big-time producer you're working with. Why don't you tell folks about that?
Yeah, worked with Taylor Larson, who's done some pretty good stuff, like Periphery. It's hard to think off the top of my head, but he's great. Like, we worked with him previously, and he's someone that we all get along with really well, but also is like a great creative addition to when we do go into studio. So because we've worked with him before and we really enjoyed the process with him, we decided that we'd go back with him. And we're really excited with the songs as they currently are that we'll come out with in studio. We're really excited, really keen to kind of get something out and move forward with a release, I guess, with our current vocalist, because we're really proud of, that step.
Now, I mentioned we talked a little bit about the song Disillusion, and today I was watching the music video to that one. It almost kind of looks like you're in a big guitar or something. Tell me a little bit about where that music video was shot and what it was like. Were you in a truck or something? Where was that done?
No, that was just a scene that was built at our label's head office. So at Victory, they have an area where they shoot a lot of videos, and they've got a really, really great team there for media. So they built the set. So it was just on this floor of this building, and they kind of built the set in to make it look a bit narrow and stuff with light. So it looks like we're in some fancy location, but again, that's just because I've got such a good media team there that puts a lot of effort into building the sets and that type of thing.
Now, I was kind of reading, back on some of your Facebook posts today from the band's post, that is, and I saw a post that said, you guys really didn't plan on recording Dissolution during the tour, did you?
No, it's funny, because when we did that last tour in the US, Jimmy, our vocalist, he came in as a temporary, fill-in, so we parted ways with our last vocalist, and at the time we had that US tour booked. So we asked Jimmy if he would fill in. And we obviously knew that he had a lot of stuff on himself, so we wanted him the whole time pretty much to be permanent, but, didn't want to put that pressure on him. So we brought him out on the road, and while we were on that tour, we just all got along so well. Like, we were all super close, and we all had the best time, and he was a really good fit. So while we were in the US, Taylor, he basically just said that he had some time free, and he was looking for someone to do a single with. And I was like, well, we're going to need something if Jimmy ends up being the final vocalist, so we might as well take a day that we have off on the tour and go do the song. And yeah, it's funny because even when we were doing the song, Jimmy was not technically still part of the band. Like, he hadn't accepted being in full time. By the end of that tour, he had, and it was great to have a music video and a song already ready to go. So we just kind of did it off a whim, and it turned out perfectly.
Now, you guys have been building quite a history as a band, and I guess I don't want to call it a setback, but you guys suffered kind of a tragedy back in May, and I've been reading some of the stories. Why don't you give a little bit of a memory of Connor and who Connor was and the importance to the band?
Yeah, it's definitely been a tough time. Connor was our youngest member and our little brother, so I first met Connor years ago, before I was even in Awaken. Me and Connor did some other musical stuff together, going back many years. And then I was part of Awaken and I brought him over, and yeah, we've toured the world together for years. He was on that American tour, and we got to see Japan and Australia and New Zealand, and so we got to do a lot together. So yeah, unfortunately he was in a tragic car accident, and it was a really hard time. Obviously, it's been good having each other. We were 10 days after it happened, we were actually out back again on tour with Escape the Fate. But at the same time, it was for us, it was perfect because the best people for us to be around was each other. Because we're all going through the same thing and we're grieving the same loss, so we could be there for each other. And a lot of what we've written this new music about, there's a couple of tracks. There's 2 out of the 4 tracks, so half of the music that we've written is specifically for Connor. So that's another reason why we're really excited to release it, because it's been a tragic and crazy time, but we wanted to try and go into the studio and kind of make something beautiful to remember him by. So.
Well, we were touched here at the Rock Show to see all the outpouring of support and the tribute you guys did. So it was a great memory and a great way you're keeping his memory alive. So, hey, I saw you posted on the page, too, a flashback about a tour from Japan. And, you've been to the States and you've been to Japan. Where on the globe do you have the biggest following so far?
The U.S. for sure. It's funny, even before we toured the U.S. the first time, we've always had such a good online presence over there. So, yeah, Japan's really good as well, but the US is definitely, for us, it's the market where we seem to get the most support, and that's why we've kind of, done 2 tours over there within a space of about 6 months, and we're really excited to get back out. We're kind of looking for the next opportunity where we can get out there again. We definitely over the next couple of years, we plan on spending a lot of time out there, because we love, obviously, being able to do such big tours and stay on the road for as long as possible, but also, we're really grateful for the support and the following that we do have out there. So we just want to really cultivate that.
So in Australia, is the formula kind of the same for being a successful band over there as it is in the U.S.? I mean, over here, you kind of, you need the touring thing, you need the digital presence. Is there a different formula coming out of Australia?
I don't think so. Personally, I think it's fairly similar. It's very, there's a lot of different aspects and a lot of different moving parts that go into, I guess, growing as a band. And it's, as you said, touring. But obviously, a big part of that is making sure that you're ready for touring and you have a good show, because there's no point in touring if you sound terrible. So there's a lot of moving parts, and I think that's something that with Jimmy as a new vocalist, that's something that we finally got right for the first time, and we've seen things grow very quickly since we've had him as part of the lineup. So I think in Australia and America, there's a lot of similarities in regards to, obviously, having the right look and the right online presence as well as the right show. And I guess that's where, like, being a group and having a team comes behind you as well, comes into it, because it's hard to pull all those aspects together just on your own. So, we're really grateful for the team we have at Victory Records, as well as our manager and our booking agent. It's having that team that helps us obviously pull everything together.
Well, it was our pleasure getting to see you perform in Concord, Virginia. Man, it was a hot day out there when you guys were performing. Probably not as hot as it is in Australia. Probably is nothing to you guys. But, hey, we have had Luke McKenzie.
Oh, no, it was hot. It was very hot. Yeah, very humid.
Well, we've had Luke McKenzie from Awaken I Am. Once again, their Blind Love is out there, and their latest single, Disillusion, is out there as well. And Luke, I guess you had to get up early for this, so I really appreciate you taking the time to join us on the MARR Rock Show today.
No problem at all. Thank you so much for having me on the show.